You will be especially pleased when you can see that jurors are agreeing with what you are saying. Here are words of advice that will help you get jurors agreeing with you more often. First, keep your answers short. Attorneys learn to be brief with their questions so as not to lose the jurors. That is good advice for you as an expert witness for the very same reason. Second, be precise in your responses. Yes or no is better than probably. 53 miles an hour is better than about the speed limit. Precise answers sound knowledgeable, while imprecise answers sound uncertain. Next, you should use everyday English, not technical jargon or big words. Attorneys learn not to use legalese when asking you questions, once again to avoid losing the jurors. Why not share the benefit of their years in law school by making your answers simple to understand? Lose the jargon, not the jurors. You should be a teacher. Take a moment to define or explain any technical words that you have to use. Jurors must understand what you say in order to come around to your point of view or opinion. Just don't come across as arrogant while you are doing it. Use simple English. Next, be crystal clear about each opinion. Each one of your opinions is like the main course at a fancy restaurant. A waiter tells you the name of the course, then describes what ingredients were used and how the dish was prepared. The jurors want to know your opinion, but they also want to know the ingredients of that main course, the facts and information that you used, and then they want to hear about the careful, methodical, and logical way in which you prepared that dish for them. Next, you should rephrase an answer if the jurors appear confused. Always rephrase an answer if your attorney, during direct examination, seems to repeat a question. It may be because he believes your answer was confusing, or because your answer did not include important facts that he wanted to hear from you. A repeated question by your retaining attorney is an indication that your preceding answer was not enough. You have to either elaborate or clarify. Now, let's talk about maintaining your composure. Your job in the witness box is to present your opinions in the most convincing way possible. Trying to win an argument with your partner with logic alone is rarely enough. Getting angry and shouting rarely works. So, maintaining a calm composure is an excellent way to stay focused and centered at a trial. It helps to enhance your credibility during direct examination and to protect that same credibility during cross-examination. Losing your composure on the stand under any manner of attack from the opposing counsel is unprofessional and ineffective. In a trial setting, opposing counsel hopes that the jurors will recoil from you in one way or another. This could be the way you look or the way you sound. It could be intellectually because of questions that they may begin themselves to have about your answers. It may also be emotionally because of your voice, your demeanor, and possibly the loss of your composure during the sometimes subtle and sometimes blatant attacks on your credibility. Attempting to drive a wedge between you and the jurors is a psychological ploy by the cross-examining attorney. If he can upset you, anger you, or visibly distress you, you are a giant step closer to losing control. Remember that you should be constantly wary of what you say during testimony. If you become angry, you are more likely to make mistakes. These could be outright mistakes, or they could simply be verbal opportunities for additional attacks by the opposing counsel that will successfully undermine your testimony. If you are sure of your opinions and confident in your work, you should be able to present those opinions straightforwardly and without uncertainty. In the face of challenges from the opposing attorney, You should be able to maintain that certainty and confidence in what you say. If you become defensive, allowing the opposing attorney to get under your skin, the jurors will wonder just how confident you really are of what you have to say. Worse, the opposing attorney may successfully make you wonder at this last minute whether you might have been wrong in one of your assumptions, procedures, or opinions. The trial is not the time for uncertainty. New evidence is rarely introduced at trial time, so you typically will have had a full opportunity to review and analyze the evidence known in the case before you sit down in the witness box. Your opinions should be solid, and you should make them sound that way. Nothing that should be asked during trial should make you sound otherwise. Nevertheless, if something completely new is introduced, you can sound flexible and reasonable if you are willing to consider it. But you should say that you would have to make a full review of the new information before concluding whether it would justify changing your opinion. Remember that. Hypothetical situations are partly psychological and partly tactical. Attorneys use them to shake your opinions or to shake your confidence and to introduce doubt in the juror's mind about the solidity of what you have to say. I'll repeat that trial is not the time for uncertainty. You reviewed the known evidence carefully. You performed your own investigation, and you did your own analyses methodically. You wrote your opinions in a report. You express your opinions in deposition. Now you are simply saying them again, and your job is to say them convincingly and to stand behind them convincingly. Uncertainty, unease, and any physical, emotional, or seemingly mental distress or anger will make you less credible with the jury. The most important tactic is to always act calmly on the witness stand, always seem to be in control, always answer clearly and thoughtfully. Naturally, I assume that you are honest and that you have performed a careful analysis of the evidence and have come to honest conclusions. Your opinions are the cornerstone of your testimony, and they should be easy to state and present. When you present your opinions, you can support them with references to specific exhibits. You can further reinforce and clarify those opinions with demonstrative exhibits such as graphs or photographs or models that you may have brought. When I say, be honest, it should be obvious that I mean at least speak the truth. But I do mean something even more than that. I am also saying, don't stretch the truth. You may believe strongly in the client and in your side of the case. But remember that you are expected to be unbiased. You are not supposed to be an advocate for your side. You are supposed to be an expert who presents evidence helpful to that side, but in an objective manner. You risk being disqualified or impeached by the judge if it becomes obvious that you are stretching the truth and drawing conclusions that go beyond an unbiased, expert appraisal of the evidence. During your testimony, you should also be prepared to cite specialized technical publications in your field as sources for widely accepted testing protocols or standards or methodologies used by other experts in your discipline. Not only will this enhance the authority of your responses, as well as your credibility, but it will also lend support for any Dober-based challenges.